Yeah, hurry up. Finish the intro.
Okay,
Come on.
the intro's over. Time to grab your drink and sit
Get
down.
that guy's
Come
dumb
on,
voice out of there. Okay, whatever. Cut him short. Let's call it a good. Welcome to the World Show. It is Monday, October 9th. Boy, it's been a weekend, hasn't it? I'm not happy today. I don't feel like doing anything today. And what I mean by that is that not that I don't want to be here with you fine folks. What I mean is I don't feel like being funny. I don't feel like being entertaining. I'm not going to sit here and rehash all the stuff. You guys are getting a lot of information on Israel. That's on everybody's mind. It's a big deal. You're getting a lot of stuff from a lot of places and a lot of things, a lot of wherefores and what have yous. It wouldn't be my place to hover above everything and pick it all apart. I do have two unusual thoughts that I haven't heard a lot of people talk about. Of course, it's going to be out there somewhere. Someone else, I am sure at some point, is using common sense. But basically, my heart is aching for the situation going on in Israel. It's killing me. Some of the pictures that we're seeing, I don't even want to. I don't want to show them. I don't want to describe them. They're absolutely heartbreaking. It just stops everything that I'm thinking on doing. It's hard to do it. It's hard to work. It's hard to go anywhere. I'm not sure how people get up and go to their job today. How do you go to your job and clock in knowing this stuff is going on? Is it just because it's so far away that we can put it out of our heads? Is it because we're used to it? Because we've seen all the pictures of all the wars for the past 35 years since cameras are now at the forefront of every battlefield? Sorry about the picture going in and out with the color too. I don't know how to change that. We're working on that. I don't know how to go to work. I want it to be over. We can go back to what we're doing. But there's some things, I don't even want to do the housekeeping this morning. I don't even talk about Patreon and podcasts and stuff. I just had some notes that I wrote down of just some things that bothered me, some observations, if you will. And then, like I said, I got two things that are kind of a different take. One was they talked about over 3,500 rockets being fired into Israel from most of them from the Gaza Strip and Hamas. They've had some coming in from the north, which was my second point. But I heard on one report, and it was a military guy, and I couldn't find it. I wanted to find out who said this, and I wanted to talk about it again. They had a guy who said there was thousands of rockets being sent over, but the first 1,000 were dummies. They were just dummy rockets, no explosions, no mixed in. Many. And I couldn't understand where he was going. I turned the volume up. I wanted to hear what this guy had to say. He goes, and it's not being reported widely, but there was, hundreds and hundreds in the beginning, and then 1,000 that were dummy rockets so that Israel's defense system would burn up missiles. They could overwhelm the Iron Dome, the protective shield, the missiles that protect Israel. They could overwhelm them with dummy rockets. They just shoot those down if you want to. Those don't mean anything. And Israel would have no way of knowing which ones were the real ones and which ones were the fake ones. So they're shooting them all down. They weren't getting all of them anyway. That I don't know why that stuck with me. And I've only heard it reported that one time. So of course I'd have to go try to figure out where that came from. But if that's true, this isn't just a coordinated attack. It's beyond that. This is a planned out war. It was an invasion. At first, when they were showing the missiles, I thought, all right, they're missile attacks. That happens. No, this was crashing the border fences down, getting into Israel, killing people, taking some hostage. And then Tomash is our number one guy in Israel. You guys have been following along with Tomash on Discord, and I haven't heard from him today, but Tomash is over there in the middle of this. Well, he got on the phone with me, and I'm asking him questions like, dude, tell me what we don't know. Tell me the things they can't see. And he talked about tunnels. Now, I knew there was some tunnels from, Hamas, but he says, you don't understand. They had tunnels. The Israelis found tunnels all the way to Tel Aviv. Go look at a map and look how far it is from Gaza, from the Gaza Strip to Tel Aviv, and they were able to tunnel under almost all the way to Tel Aviv. He says there's tunnels all throughout Israel. They can pop up and attack. He says we've put barricades underground. They've put sound sensors in the ground. I didn't even know. I knew there was some tunnel action. I had no idea the depth that they were going to prepare to infiltrate and attack Israel. I didn't know. Now, the big thing is that another question that I had was I was on the phone with Tomash and I said, I was so angry. I said, go kill them. Go take your tanks and run over there and just smash Hamas, smash them into the ground. Get in, take over the Gaza Strip, make it yours, make it your border, free up everybody who's there that wants to be there, get rid of everybody who doesn't. He goes, we can't. He goes, we can invade Gaza, and he goes, every building, every playground, every car is wired to explode, every manhole cover. He goes, you have we go in there, we have no way of knowing. We're gonna hurt ourselves just invading, going through town, let alone the fighting. Now, after he said that, I was like, holy shit, again, things I didn't know. Things that, maybe I didn't know all the stuff about the tunnels, all right? But then it looks like they're going in. Now, I don't know if they've actually gone in or they've been firing in there. Before this show started, minutes before the show started, the last thing I saw, is Israel had lined up tanks and soldiers and helicopters and everybody's on the border getting ready to go. There was points they were going in. But if they're prepared for them inside the Gaza, which they had to know they're coming, what is the Israeli army in for? I'm just asking. I don't know. I'm not talking out of step here because I don't know. These are questions. They got to know that they're going to come in there. Hamas has got to know this is going to happen. So perhaps they prepared for it. Perhaps Gaza has been wired. Perhaps things are ready for an attack like that. And I'm sure Israel knows this. It's a possibility. But that bothered me. First, I was all for it. Go get them. Then I was like, no, don't go get them if the whole place is wired. Now I'm like, well, if you're prepared, go get them. It bothers me. It really does. The rocket thing I didn't see coming. I had no idea. They talk about there's talk about how come the CIA, our intelligence agency, didn't know? Because believe me, they don't want Biden to look bad. They don't want a war on Biden's watch. No. And they let this slip through the cracks. Somebody's going to lose their job over this. How did they not? I mean, Israeli intelligence should have known also. They're some of the highest intelligence in the whole planet is Israeli. But how come the CIA didn't know? How come the CIA let this slip through the cracks? Because now this looks shitty on Biden. Now this is something Biden has to deal with. Believe me, if they knew, they'd have done something. They'd have said something. They don't want their boy in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue to look bad, but they let it happen. That's one. The other one is the hostages they took. I can't, I know that we just got done paying $6 billion for hostages, so that's a pretty easy target. Go get some more. Go get some more money. All right. It's just everybody's talking about, and I don't know, I hear it on the news. I do. I hear it on a lot of news outlets. They talk about the six. Let me back up with something. Did we rebuild the Palestinian force, the army, Hamas? Did we reinforce Iran? Did we reinforce even Hezbollah, which is way worse than Hamas? Yeah, I think we did. And I know, boy, the liberal Democrats are out there voicing their opinions. Let me just tell you a couple of things. You heard about it on the news, and it's true. Iran's not supposed to produce a ton of oil. Why? Keeps their revenue down. They can't sell a bunch of oil. They don't get a bunch of money. Trump had these motherfuckers in check. Biden gets in office. They start making more oil. The sanctions are still there, but nobody's enforcing it. So their money goes up. Money that goes to the Palestinian organization goes up. You following me on this? Trump killed that guy. What was that guy? Soleimani was his name, whatever. He killed that dude. Trump was after these guys 24/7 and had everybody back on their heels. Everybody was rolling backwards. Biden gets in office, doesn't enforce. Look at all the times that Iranian gunships are fucking with shipping. We're not doing anything. Are we stopping them? We just kind of let it go. Just like the sanctions, we let it go. We're not going after anybody in here. We're not enforcing some of the rules that are already in place. And their revenue's going up. Now, before we get to the $6 billion thing, because it's true, we released $6 billion that is what was in South Korea and a bank in Qatar, and there's no money's been taken out yet. That's what the Democrats think. Oh, none of that $6 billion has been touched. Okay. Now, maybe this is just my Generation X thinking. Maybe this is just an old man talking out his ass. One of my children, well, I've raised 32 children. One of my children one time, him and his family, they needed money. But I knew my son was using drugs. And he wanted drugs, and he would sell things for drugs, and he would steal for drugs. He had a job, but he didn't have enough money to pay for groceries and the rent and the car payment and insurance and drugs. So he would struggle with all those all the time because he needed his drugs, and it was a real hassle. And I remember my wife one time says, well, I'm not going to give him money, but I'm going to buy them $200 in groceries. And I said, you're supporting his drug habit. And she said, how do you mean? I'm buying groceries. I said, as my son and his family have a certain amount of money, and they got groceries, and they got rent, and they got gas in their car, and drugs over here, but they don't have enough money for everything. So sometimes they get drugs, sometimes they pay their electric bill. But if you give them groceries, you've now freed up $200 they don't have to worry about. Now they got enough money for drugs. And she kind of looked at me like, what are you talking about? I said, you're not following me. If you know you're getting money for groceries next week, you don't have to save up that $200 for groceries. Just go buy your drugs. The groceries will be here in a minute. It's just common sense. It's a very real thing. Anybody over age of 45 knows exactly what I'm talking about. Why is that not simple to apply with Iran that says, oh, well, all these hundreds of millions of dollars we were going to spend on medicine, hundreds of millions of dollars we were going to spend on food, we don't have to worry about that because the $6 billion will cover those type of things. It'll cover humanitarian issues. So we can go ahead and begin just pouring millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars this direction over here and fund Hamas and start a war. We can do a whole bunch of shit. Why? We can afford it. We know that $6 billion's coming. We know the $6 billion's coming soon, and it's going to be in food. It's going to be in medicine. And we're going to get supplies. So that's the stuff they don't buy. Why does this seem like really a hard concept to understand? I'll agree with every Democrat and liberal out there. The money's still there. It hasn't been spent yet. If you Democrats, you liberals are really on board with this, I'm calling you out right now. Refreeze it again. You froze the assets once, they fucked around, freeze them again, right now. Since none of the money has left there, freeze it again. Now, let's be fair, I'm probably the only dumbass who's saying that. I'm probably the only one calling him out in that respect after no, don't you say he funded this war. Don't you say Biden did this. The money's still there. Then freeze it. Because it's not hard to figure out once they knew all the money was coming in soon. It's coming in soon. Under the watchful eye, and they'll be very careful. There's groceries over here, medicine over here. We need some Band-Aids. We need some stuff over here. We need some Bactine over. Thank you very much. They're just not going to spend their money on that. They're going to spend it over here. Refreeze it. That's all I'm saying. I want to show you a picture real quick here. If I could find it. This is what bothers me too about this. This is Israel real quick. Everybody's seen this before. And you can see the Gaza Strip in yellow in Israel. And so if they go fight in Gaza, that's stupid. I'm sure Israelis they're getting a few rocket attacks from north up in Lebanon, I've heard. But what I want to point out is this picture. Where are Israel's immediate enemies? Look at that. Same picture. You get it? They're surrounded. Now you're going to say, well, Jordan and Egypt, they're not really fighting. No. But Jordan and Egypt were part of the 6-Day War back in 1967. And they're on a peace agreement, but they have no love for Israel. Israel's surrounded. What happens if this is a big attack? I mean, they chose a good time to do it. There's no Speaker of the House in our country. which I thought about day one. I thought there's no speaker. We can't even start appropriating funds. We can't unless Biden decides to do an executive order. He did send, I heard he sent the Gerald Ford, our newest aircraft carrier, over there. So there's a battle group going that way. That's good. That's what I would have done first thing. But they did it at the right time. They had to have this all ready to go for months and months and months. All of a sudden, they know they got to take action while Biden's in office. They can't risk him not being there. He's the perfect president to, if you're going to attack some other countries and he's the right guy to have sitting in the Oval Office. It'll be hard to get him to do anything appropriate. Even today, he shut off and goes, I'm done talking for the day. Yeah, I would be too if I was him. You ain't got nothing to say. You going to come out and lie to us? Tough one. So you got Biden in office. At the moment, through a pure luck of coincidence, fortuitous for the bad guys, there's no Speaker of the House. We can't get anything done. They attack. We're already in a struggle with what we're spending money on and doing in Ukraine. They know that we're kind of a stand beside and look at, we're a sideline nation right now, where you got to drag us kicking and screaming into helping our friends, into doing what's right. So they attack Israel. Why not? Why wouldn't you do it? Pretty easy thing to do, right? It bothers me. What if they get attacked from the north? What if the tanks just start rolling in all around? What do we do then? Are we still going to be monitoring the situation, Mr. President, checking stuff out, seeing what's going on? So now we got Ukraine, Israel. What if China decides to go after Taiwan? Perfect time. President in the office who doesn't get shit done. House is sitting there with no speaker. Ukraine, Israel, why not? Now, I hope not. I don't want to see it happen. I don't want to see it happen at all. But I'm worried about it. It bothers me. I haven't heard from Tomash yet. I'm waiting for my phone to beep on Tomash to say he's doing something over there. Let him know let us know he's okay. That's about it. The two things I wanted to point out was the story about when you give, I try to give my son $200 in groceries. That means he doesn't have to buy groceries, so he's going to go buy drugs. You give $6 billion in humanitarian aid, medicine, and food to Iran. Fine, they're just going to take their $6 billion or whatever, hundreds of million, and they're going to go make war. Why not? They can do it now. They can afford it now. Thank you very much. The other one is I'm worried about Israel being attacked from other sides. I don't know that they will. I'm not a real general, despite what the fantasy and lore always says. What's that?
Only in title.
Only in title. Let me go over here between the sheets to my left, your right. I have a book of sheets in here. Eve on a Stick, welcome to being an extra. The other one is Henry Remo. Enlistment is low in the U.S. Do you think they would institute a draft if we go to war? I don't think they're going to enlist a draft because of a foreign war with foreign enemies doing stuff to foreign countries. Now, if somebody attacked Hawaii, if they attacked even Guam, something that was ours, a state, not a state. What do you call those things? Not a province. Territory. One of our territories. Then yeah, but not. I don't think they could push this. I don't think they could push a draft through for that. Joe DeMitt, why is Biden secretly to get 20 terrorists released from Egypt prison, but would not release the names of those terrorists to the public? First of all, our country does some shady, underhanded shit. Some of it is necessary to operate a country. I do not believe that our government could operate with 100% transparency. I believe there's things that we don't need to know as citizens. There's stuff that goes on. Move some pieces around the board. I want to have my barbecue. I want you to keep me safe. I know that's going to piss some people off. I would say 90% transparency for the decisions we're making, the stuff we got to do. But I don't know what the circumstances were for that one. There's a lot of stuff. They make movies about that. That's what Mission Impossible movies and things are made out of. Things that we don't need to tell the American public, that we're always on the brink of war, that there was a bomb in in Colorado, at the Broncos Stadium, and we didn't know about it. They defused it. You know what? Don't even tell me that when I was at SoFi Stadium with Trippy Pineapple sitting watching a Rams game and a bomb almost went up. You know what? Just solve the problem, kill the bad guys, defuse the bomb. Don't upset every day of my life with that shit. You guys handle it, fine. You guys tell me that you're mad at a certain country, and because they put the bomb there, I believe you. I'm just telling you, there's in a practical world, there is no possible way our country could have 100% transparency, and I think it's foolish to assume that we can. However, they do pull some shady shit that we should know about, and they use the very thing I'm telling you. Well, you don't want to know everything, do you? It's a state secret, compromising security, national security. No, they hide behind that on shit we should know because they shouldn't be doing it. That's the problem. I absolutely agree they're state secrets, but they throw every dirty thing behind the wall of state secrets and then pretend we don't need to know. Well, we do. So there's some stuff I don't know. There's some stuff you don't know. We hear glimpses of it, but we don't know how far the tentacles go behind the scenes on that. So I will just say this in general. A lot of the stuff that's been happening, I've been on this planet 55 years. The stuff that has been coming out in the last 20 years has been some shady shit that we should have been involved in. They shouldn't have done it. We should have known about it. All right. Evan Williams, General, how much do you think gas is going to go up to? About $9 a gallon. Well, until we get another president here who lets us drill, we become energy independent, the prices will come down, but not a ton, because if you got to think about it too, and I don't want to get off on this tangent, but if gas and oil companies can charge $7 a gallon and make money, when the leases are back going, when they're allowed to drill more, why would they? What for? We're doing just fine at $7 a gallon. The one thing that works in our favor is supply and demand capitalism. There's going to be a bunch of, if Mobil Gas is out there saying we're going to keep our prices at 7, Exxon says, now we're going to drill more, make our prices 6. Mobil's going to have to compete and drop it to 6 and then 5 and then 4. Supply and demand and capitalism will drive that down once they have the drilling rights again. In my opinion, what do I know? I'm just a dumb mechanic in the middle of the desert. Tech Dumb Dad member for 4 months. CIA often plays both sides of the fence. They have most likely funded Hamas in the past or even now. Would not surprise me. Well, years ago, Israel had a hand in forming parts of Hamas. Just like we had hands in forming parts of Al-Qaeda. And there is some truth to that, too. Mrs. 4 Watton gifted 5 Gen X Talks memberships. Rowdy Bobby, Robert R., Benzo Lover, Josh Jones, and Terry Schmidt. You guys can all now go behind the scenes and see the secret stuff from the past 3 years. A lot of stuff in there. Mrs. 4 Watton, another 5 memberships. This time it's Melody Hay, Gary Brandt, Smith UK, Parnelli, and Ryan Palma. After the show's over, go to the YouTube community section. And there in YouTube, it's the community section, behind the scenes stuff. 2.5, 3 years of behind the scenes things nobody's been able to see unless you're a member. It's the same on Facebook. If you're a part of Facebook and you see those people going by with those little green badges, they're members, they're subscribers. It's $1. But you can go to the page called The General's Lunchbox. Go look it up. And if you're a member, you can go back almost 3 years and see so much stuff from the history of Gen X Talks, the family stuff that's going on. There's videos, there's pictures, there's stories, all kinds of stuff. But it's $1. It helps the kid with his projects and stuff, but you got to go check it out. All right. So anyway, that was kind of all I had to say about Israel. I'm aching. I'm hurting. I wish that I was watching what was going on, and then I hate when I watch what's going on because I see stuff I don't want to see. I wish it would end. I wish the violence would stop, but let's face it, that conflict over there in the desert has been thousands of years. And I don't think there is one right answer, but I will tell you this. I loved how close Saudi Arabia and Israel were to peace. A month ago, they were so close. Saudi Arabia was so close to acknowledging Israel, and then Iran's like, yeah, that ain't going to happen. Fuck you guys. We're going to fuck the whole thing up before you get there. Just so that I know it's not my place. It's not my heritage, not my people, not my religious stuff. I get it. That I really don't get to have much of an opinion other than I don't like innocent people suffering. And there's a lot of it going on over there. So What I'm going to do is we're going to spend, we spent a little bit of time on that, but I'm going to try to switch gears here with Gen Z Kid. He had a topic. He had something he wanted to bring to the table. Let's escape the thing of Israel for 30 minutes, shall we? Talk about something else, because I'm sure the things he's bringing up are stupid and they're timely and they're going to make you all shake your heads and wish that none of you had kids. Oh, look at Gen Z Kid. There he is. Oh, your microphone's on, your camera's on. Wow. Oh, you're here. You're part of things.
I'd like to apologize for my off-camera antics during your Israel thing. Very unprofessional of me.
Yeah, it was.
I tried my best.
Why are you swaying in that chair? Should we both do this? I'll just do this too. Just start going around like this.
Yeah, because
That's just okay. See if this is distracting. I'll go ahead and talk.
Yeah, okay, ready?
I'll talk and I'll do. You talk and I'll do this like you are.
Okay, well, we're gonna be talking about Antarctica this morning.
You hit me up about that with your stupid short video this morning.
Now we're gonna talk about it even more.
It's all bullshit. Antarctica is not a real place.
Oh, I'm glad we cleared that up.
Yeah, we can end the show right now. We can end the show right now. There's no such thing as Antarctica. All right.
Well,
so,
like, there's a lot of things to discuss about Antarctica that's very odd.
There is some weirdness about what I find odd is that how come there's so much mystery in Antarctica? Why is there so much secrecy about that place? It's just a big cold chunk of ice over some dirt that nobody wants to go to, but because nobody really wants to go there for hundreds of years, now all of a sudden the reason they don't want to go there is because of secrets and mysteries. It's fucking cold. Yeah, it's cold and it's far away. It's not like
there's not like a lot of stuff you could do down there. Yeah, there's volcanoes spewing out gold and stuff, but there's a treaty saying you can't mine there. Can't mine at all.
Okay, so
there's a lot going on.
Now I'm not super privy to the treaty stuff. I got some of it.
Yeah.
But there is a treaty.
Yeah. It was signed December 1st, 1959, the Antarctic Treaty.
Okay, and who's Mrs. Forwatton, who's Thaddeus or whatever? Yeah. She's asking.
That's the dude who discovered America first. He got there first. Not America.
America? I thought
Sorry. Antarctica.
Francesco Gapucci, man.
We're talking. He's the first guy to discover. I'm not sure if he's the guy who got to the Antarctic Circle first, or if he's the one who got there first.
All right. Well, let's back up. The treaty was for if in my recollection back in my school days, it was for don't go there. You can't claim it. It's kind of for everybody. You can scientific research it, but you're not going to put any companies down there mining for gold. You're not, you can't build cities down there. Just leave it alone.
I forgot what the terminology is for it, but it's for all mankind being preserved for future generations when we have the technology to live down there.
Well, and originally, back in 59 or 60 or 61, whenever that thing went into effect, wasn't there only 7 countries that were even involved?
It was 12 nations.
Okay.
It was Argentina, Australia, Belgium, Chile, France, Japan, New Zealand, Norway, South Africa. It's there's a lot of...
Yeah, but now there's 50... Well, you sent me a picture. I don't know if I can find that.
Yeah, now there are 53 countries on the treaty.
Let me see if I can find that one.
Before the treaty, they had wedges, which I'm assuming is the one you're pulling up.
Well, there's one right there that shows there's wedges, but they're not really fair wedges. I mean, they're grouped like big pies, but then when you see what you actually get, you ain't getting much.
And you could really see how France got screwed over with its tiny little wedge in the bottom.
Well, you sent that other picture too. So this was, France at the bottom there just got a little sliver.
So that was before the treaty. Everyone had their little claims. And then the treaty went into effect, but there's a loophole in the treaty saying you don't have to give up your territory, but your territory doesn't matter anymore. So it's you can have it, but everybody owns Antarctica.
Okay.
It's very odd.
Well, the problem is that there are so many conspiracies about Antarctica.
There are a lot.
There's everything from flat earthers and to there's underground civilizations of aliens. I mean, any crazy thing you can throw out there, they put it on Antarctica, And then they say, and that's why you can't go there. That's why you can't drill there. That's why you can't fly over. And look at all these things are proof. Because in the treaty is like, don't go here, don't mind, don't turn shit upside down, leave the natural habitat alone. And every crazy tinfoil lunatic uses that as proof that they're hiding something. Every one of them says that. It's like, okay, what was the thing about flying over it?
I have a picture for you there.
You do?
Yeah.
Did I miss that? Let's see.
The flight that most people use is from Buenos Aires to
Oh, you did have a picture. Okay.
Perth, Australia. So South America to
Australia. Okay,
Now,
Buenos
you can
Aires,
see, like, the fastest way to get there would be just right over Antarctica.
which they don't normally do.
Yeah, no. They go around Antarctica.
Okay.
Conspiracy theorists say
Now that's proof.
Yeah.
That is absolute proof that there are aliens. That's proof that the earth is flat because you don't do it, you see?
there's multiple reasons why you can't do it. One, because it's a general rule of thumb for a lot of air agencies to be 60 minutes or around 60 minutes away from any airport just in case something happens.
That was a 60-minute rule was something was passed during the Reagan administration, and I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's a global thing, but
Yeah, they use it as, like I said, a
you
rule of
cannot. Rule of thumb was, well, there was another thing too. You can't fly anywhere where you're more than 60 minutes away from an airport. Now, I know in the Pacific there's islands, but they don't all have airports. I'm not sure how that works, but because it's 13 hours from like LA to Sydney, Australia.
Yeah.
So how do they cut? But that was a basic
Pacific
rule of
islands.
thumb.
There's like little islands with airports on them.
Landing strips of some sort.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's landing strips in Antarctica, but there's no supplies. There's
Well, nobody's going to come get you very easily, just
Yeah.
like no one come get you very easily in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, but like they have a lot of naval bases out in the Pacific Ocean, they have a lot of help that can get there, But if you're in Antarctica, there's no military. That's part of the Antarctic Treaty. You can't have military there. And another thing, as I'm definitely coming up with this off the top of my head, low visibility and undeveloped infrastructure makes flying over Antarctica extremely difficult. And what that means is you can't see anything because the whole thing is one big ice pack.
Well, what I think is funny is that these conspiracy people talk about, they're like, there is a giant hole in Antarctica and you can fly down to a city. It's like, well, how do you know? There's pyramids. And you say, well, how do you know? And they're like, well, we see them from satellites. We got satellite pictures of all these things. Yet those same people don't believe in satellites.
Yeah.
They're like, satellites aren't real. It's just your round Earth theory bullshit. Satellites are fake, which is the most ridiculous thing ever. But they use the picture from the satellite to prove their point, and then they deny their satellites, that satellites don't exist. I don't get it, but
one thing, like right here, undeveloped infrastructure. There's not enough airports. Antarctica's huge, largest desert in the world.
Yeah, it's weird they call it a desert. It's frozen.
It's a desert.
I know, but desert in my mind is sand. I know it's not. I know it's a desert, but it bothers me to call it that.
It doesn't bother me.
And it bothers me a ton.
And it's like also, growing up, 70s and 80s, you'd have TVs, right?
Yeah.
You put a magnet up to the TV, what would happen?
Messes with your TV.
Exactly, messes with the technology.
Yeah.
That's still a thing today. It's just like it's more magnet proof. But if you get enough
The magnet, that's like, what's the other one? Well, if my conspiracy theory is not true, why does nobody fly directly over Antarctica? Why don't they fly over it? Why not?
Because there's strong magnetic fields.
Well,
over the
also,
South Pole.
there's no reason to. There's no.
Yeah.
That's not like a direct. If it was a direct line between New York and London, motherfuckers would be flying over that shit all the time.
Yeah.
They would
have invented
They would have
something.
figured some shit out, but you can't say there's proof to my conspiracy because nobody flies over it. What are you talking about? Nobody wants to. There's no reason to. There's very, very little reason to fly over it. Then the other one is like, it doesn't matter whether you're talking about alien civilizations, pyramids, or flat Earth. They always say, then why can't you visit there? Why can't you go there? Why is it all locked down? Of course, because my theory's right. Do you know 70,000 people visit Antarctica every year?
You're allowed to go there.
70,000. Now there's some places you can't go. They're like, and it's mostly for safety. Like number one, you're not going over there because you're going to fuck with the wildlife. Number two, you're not going over there because we're not going to come rescue you.
Yeah.
That was a big thing.
One of the things in Antarctica is that they leave no trace. Like that's a huge thing. Like I've seen that in like national parks and stuff, but they take it super serious in Antarctica.
They're talking here, Craig. I'm catching some. I can catch some of the comments going by, not many, but it's Craig says Admiral Byrd's personal diary. He was one of the first ones who ever said, I found a big city there. But the problem with that was it was either his diary or somebody said, I found a city with people. There was these really tall, 7 foot tall blonde people in there. And that's why I was yelling at you this morning about, did you get a picture? No, we couldn't take a picture. Wait a minute. So you're allowed to go in there, see everything.
Yeah.
You can talk to the people that are there. You identify them as 7 foot tall blonde, but you weren't allowed to take a picture? They let you leave with the knowledge of their city, but you couldn't take a picture? Yeah, I'm going to call bullshit on that.
And Tech Dumb Dad, member for 2 months, says they have military installations in Antarctica. They test direct energy weapons there, among other things. But here's the thing. Just because the military installation doesn't mean they have military there. That's research. Military research. That's different.
Everything that I've ever learned that in true simple facts about Antarctica is it is a real continent. It's a real place. It's not some fucking gigantic mystical ring wall around the world. It has a bunch of cool weird shit in it. Not hardly anything has been physically explored there. It's so big and so cold and so nasty. But people go there. Every country goes there to do experiments, to dig in the ground, to check ice, to look at stuff. They drilled a hole, and from this huge ice shelf, they thought there was a river under this one section in Antarctica because they know there's ground underneath it. It's not all just ice. It's not floating on salt water. There is ground under there. So they drilled down in this one area, seeing if they hit this river. Then they sent a camera down there on this tether, and all the stuff they could see, it wasn't just a river. It was like an ocean under there, 60, 80 feet from the ground to the ice of all of these animals and all of this sea life and all. I mean, it was incredible. It's a whole ecosystem down there. No 7 foot tall blonde Nazis. I'm not saying they were there, but the stuff they discovered, and they haven't even scratched the surface of it. But do I think that there's an alien race there? No. Do I think Hitler built a secret bunker there? No, probably not.
You thought he went out into space.
Well, I was just fucking with you. But I'm just saying you can't think that they built a secret base to launch. Well, the theory was they built a base so they could connect with those 7 foot tall blonde-haired people, so they'd come help them fight.
Oh,
that was the theory on that. But no, I'm thinking it'd be a tough place to build a base, and what for? I mean, it's not a very strategic place. Just like flying over, it's dumb.
I'm sure they're not used to warm weather.
Yeah, they might have a problem with that.
They'll be like, it's too hot.
That was the other thing. What was it? Maybe they were saying, that it was a completely big civilization, and the continental drift, it floated away. So now it's.
Yeah, some people say it was like, I'm sure there was more life on it at one point. Like.
Before it froze?
No, it was probably less frozen. It was more like Iceland.
Yeah.
Or Greenland. Sorry,
Greenland.
I get it mixed up. It was more like Greenland. And then it slowly became Antarctica. I got one thing. You know how hard it would be to communicate directions on Antarctica? Head north. Well,
with what compass?
Yeah, I'd be like,
my compass just spins.
Yeah, or just like head north. Which north? Because like if you're near the South Pole,
everywhere's north.
You're like, oh no.
Loud One dropped in $10. I spoke with Tamash last night. He is okay, and his family and him are on lockdown. Israel's special forces and military are boots on the ground and pushing back. Yeah, they had to clear out their own country first and then cross the border. Tech Dumb Dad, they have military installations in Antarctica. Yeah, right. Oh, you already read that one. Eve on a Stick, who's protecting the research? I don't think anybody's protecting. It's like the military's protecting it.
Something funny, something that I'm going to say is that Australia only says or only puts research stations in their little wedge, right?
Yeah.
And then Britain only puts research stations in a little wedge.
All right.
United States doesn't have a wedge, but we have one on the South Pole. We have one in New Zealand's area, and then China has like 4 in 4 different people's areas saying. It's owned by everybody, guys.
All right, so let's be fair. Let's be fair about this. We all agree that there's a ton of research going on. Okay, in Antarctica. There's a ton of researchers, anywhere from 1,000 to 4,000 researchers all the time down there. If we all know they're researching and every country's researching, why isn't somebody going to look for these really cool underground cities?
Oh my goodness.
They're researchers. They're naturally curious. Go find the underground city.
No, they're not there.
Go find the pyramids that have all the hidden gold inside, man. Just go do it. If you're a researcher and you're drilling holes in the ice and you're looking at these chunks of ice coming out of the ground, wouldn't you be looking that way going, man, I want to go to the hidden city? Why wouldn't they research that shit? You imagine how cool that would be if your research team actually found the hidden city of gold or hidden city
No
of...
one's allowed to find it. They'd all disappear.
It's all a conspiracy.
So you know the pyramid thing, like the mountain that looked like a pyramid that went viral on the internet a few years ago. Yeah, I don't know why people aren't taking the approach that the simplest answer is probably the most correct one, because it's probably just a mountain that looks like a pyramid, man.
Yeah, but they always say, no, it's too perfectly shaped. 2 kilometers across the bottom, 2 kilometers breadth and width, 2 kilometers. It's too perfect. I don't know, man. I've seen some perfectly round stones in my travels in the desert that were naturally occurring, and they're perfectly round. So I'm just saying.
It's just...
God could make some pretty cool shit. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Loud one, $10. Used to be able to do flight tours over Antarctica. They stopped around 15 years ago from Australia. The scientists from CSIR Cicero in Australia also go down there with the Aurora Australis. Aurora Australs?
It's like the Aurora Borealis,
But down south? Yeah. All right. Mrs. Fort Watton gifted 5 more memberships. Richard Frank, AP, Donovan Robbins, Against All Odds, and Selling Rearvik. And Bonnie and Clyde Miller, welcome being an extra. Yeah.
Like I'm saying, why fly over? Also, they're really trying to stop like carbon emissions there. It's like another big thing.
Why? Because there's no trees.
Yeah.
There's no trees to eat up the carbon.
Yeah, with like the leave no trace thing, they want no human influence besides research stations.
I can see that, but I think that's dumb.
Funny thing, I just remembered about that. The leave no trace thing, you want to know how serious they take it? They take it so seriously that research stations that go there, they go to the bathroom, they have to take all their poop back with them off the island.
What?
Yeah,
Why?
Leave no trace. Zero trace.
Well, so what do they do about all the walruses that come up and the seals that come up on the land? They tell them, get back in the ocean and poop.
Well, no, because they were already there.
I see.
No humans.
I got you.
Which I don't get. It's just like, it's natural.
Stuart Bailey's right. It's most of the NATO countries that do a lot of military training out there because they need to know that their weapons will work in those conditions. There's a lot of pretty cold places. You don't got to go.
Yeah.
You know what? The United States can go to Alaska. It's pretty far north. Russians can go to Siberia and check their weapons out. You don't got to go to Antarctica to check your weapons out.
Yeah. And again, that's also, they could also file that under research. Their research.
Heavy hard drive, $5. You can't go to Antarctica because Santa's evil twin lives there. Atlas paragraph. You know what? I almost asked you that as a joke about 2 minutes ago. So funny that heavy hard drive. Well, if North Pole's got Santa, who's on the South Pole?
Must be a South Pole elf.
Must be a South Pole elf. His evil twin brother.
One more thing that I will add that I have written down is that explorers and people from research stations, since Antarctica doesn't have one time zone, they just use their home time zone from when they left.
That's like, go ahead.
Well, because which one's longitude? Longitude's this one?
Yeah, long.
Yeah, got it. And I figured it out. Well, it's pretty long.
Longitude long, latitude this way. All right.
I'm just saying, it's pretty long if you go the other way.
I'm not happy with my latitude of my body. My longitude is okay. My latitude's needs some work. That's how I remember. What?
So since all the longitudes are like right next to each other, because you're at the pole, they just do their home time zones. And there's research stations from other countries that communicate with each other. They're like right next to one another. So and since Antarctica has 6 months of daylight and then 6 months of nighttime, it'd be really difficult to communicate with those research stations without waking the other person up. Because what if you're from Britain and one person's from China?
You think they all sleep at different times?
If you're using your home time zone, yes. I'm going to bed at 10 or 11.
But the guy next to you 50 feet away just wakes up.
Yeah, because he's on his own home time zone.
Well, I will tell you something about if this is what she was bringing up earlier about who enforces the stuff going on down there. There is no Antarctic police. There is no central government. So who enforces the rules of don't go here, don't fuck up, pack out your poop, like you said, stuff like that. And if it falls to the country that brought you there. In other words, if you're on a cruise ship and you go down there and they take one of the little boats in and you're doing some stuff over here, then if you don't follow the rules, it falls back to what country the cruise ship is from. If you're on an airliner and they fly you in to do some stuff, like I said, 70,000 visitors into Antarctica, this place where no one's allowed to go, and it's shrouded in mystery, and it's probably got aliens or flat earth or, all sorts of underground cities. Can't go there, even though 70,000 people go there every year. If you break a rule, you break a law, it falls on the country that brought you there to enforce it. The captain of a ship, stuff like that. So that's who goes over that stuff.
Check. I just sent you a photo to pull up. Because I think Antarctica maybe has the best flag.
Antarctica has a flag?
Yeah. I think it's one of the best flags of almost any nation. It's simple. It makes sense. It's just aesthetically pleasing. It's a great flag.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Antarctic flag.
Yeah, Antarctica has one of the best flags. And you cannot, or you probably could prove me wrong. But
There's nothing to it.
Well, you see,
it's symmetrical. I guess that's good.
It's like a compass. It's pointing south.
Okay, it's a compass pointing south. I got that.
And if you look at the Arctic one, it's the opposite of that. The Arctic flag, it's the opposite of the Arctic flag. It's just aesthetically pleasing. It's a W flag.
It's just
a good flag.
It's blue and white to represent water and ice.
Yeah, it makes perfect. If you thought of a flag for Antarctica, if you had to convey what Antarctica was in images, boom, there it is.
All right. Let me tell you how from Generation X, how this will prove to never be a popular symbol of Antarctica ever.
Yeah, why go?
Do you think anybody has this as a tattoo on their body? No. Not one. Not one person. That's how there's some wacky tattoos out there. Ain't gonna be this one. Not gonna happen.
I'm sure nobody has a France flag tattoo.
I'm sure there is. People get the United States flag. People get a French flag.
The U.S. flag's pretty cool.
I'm telling you that people would get country flags tattooed on their ass if they wanted to, because they're
a French flag tattooed on somebody. I'd be like, "Are those your favorite colors?"
No one is going to do the Antarctic. That's never going to be a tattoo.
Just cool. You know what?
Trippy Pineapple says I got that tatted. Okay, other than Trippy Pineapple on staff, who that dude will put some weird shit on and in his body. No more comment needs to be made about that. All right, other than Trippy Pineapple, who might put that on Trippy would put that tattoo on him just to have a conversation where someone walks up, "What's that tattoo? Where'd you get that tat?" Well, let me tell you, I was in the Antarctic one time and looking for a pyramid in a hidden city on a flat Earth, and I got this tattoo.
Trippy would get that.
I
think it's pretty funny. I think it's a cool flag for a place that doesn't need a flag.
It doesn't need a flag.
It's not, but it's cool. The old flag was just a light blue background and just the country.
Wait a minute. What do you mean the old flag? That's an updated flag?
Yeah, they actually updated the flag.
There was one shittier than that?
Yeah, it was just. Here, let me pull up let me pull up the old flag for you.
There's a shittier flag than that one. We got the new version here, which nobody likes.
It's really bad.
Oh my god.
You're gonna laugh on just it's so dumb.
Samuel Pancake, I have a tattoo of the flag on my arm. I showed it already. Wasn't Samuel who was the one who got the...
See, he has an Antarctica flag.
He does not. Who's got the flag of Mrs. Fort Watten's peaches on their ass or something?
Oh, I don't know.
Somebody did that. Mrs. Fort Watten's perfectly ass-shaped peaches now live forever on someone's ass. They got that picture. It's so funny looking.
Also, when you see this old flag, it's so stupid.
You really want me to download this? Get this for you?
Pull it up.
All right. Let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see the old flag. There's the new updated version. Yeah. The old one.
Good flag?
You're kidding me.
Bad flag.
That's the old flag.
Bad flag.
Just a satellite picture of the Just blue and white.
Blue background.
Wow.
Wow. See, the new flag's way better.
That shouldn't even be a flag. That's dumb.
Imagine if America did that.
Just had a picture and outline of our country.
Yeah, do you have to include like Alaska and Hawaii in the bottom left again? Like,
Yeah, you do. You got to drag them down and put Alaska. And Alaska has to be shrunk because it's not proportionally accurate.
Shrink it really.
Can't take up a third of the picture, and then Hawaii. Yeah, that's all right. Well,
Or you can just leave them off.
they went from that flag to that flag, but I don't know.
I think the new one's a lot better. Like
It's better than the old one, but
the
they're
old
still stupid. I
The
mean,
old one is definitely up there for worst flags of all time.
yeah, the old one was worst flag of all time. So, all right. So before we close out here, tell me truth. Heads up. Do you, yes or no? It's all I want. Don't want discussion from you. Just want a yes or no.
Yep.
Are there aliens in Antarctica?
No.
Are there hidden cities deep under the ice in Antarctica?
No.
Are people allowed to go to Antarctica?
Oh yeah.
Do people fly over Antarctica?
No. But in 1935, 2 people did fly over Antarctica. And early explorers did multiple laps around Antarctica.
That's
We're
the
trying to figure out what's going on.
yeah. So it's not the ice wall of a flat Earth policy, is it? No.
Also, first flight over Antarctica was Pan Am Flight 50 using a Boeing 740.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a lie. It didn't happen. It's all a conspiracy for funding for NASA.
You know there's 4 South Poles?
No, there's not.
Yeah. The geographical
Wait, how can there be 4 south? How many North Poles are there?
Oh, probably multiple.
All right, give them to me. Give me your 4 South Poles. This ought to be dumb.
Geographical South Pole, the magnetic South Pole, the geomagnetic South Pole, and then the ceremonial one.
The ceremonial South Pole?
Yeah.
That's where all your pictures are taken?
It's where the it's
Hey,
where
Mom, I made it to the South Pole.
the first guy went and where his compass started messing up and he's like, South Pole, found it.
So that's where they planted the flag.
He was like 40 feet off, but you know.
That's where they planted the flag. Like, we're here.
Yeah.
So there's 4 South Poles.
Yeah. I'm sure there's 4 North Poles. You know, I'll check right now.
That's
Just-
ridiculous.
Just for you, man. I'll check.
We were trying to finish our program with some
Well, there's
talking
4
about the
South-
South
there's
Pole.
4 North Poles.
We're not talking about the North Pole. We're talking about the South Pole. I was asking you some questions.
But you just said is there 4 South Pole? Also, whoa. I'm looking at the South Pole. The geomagnetic South Pole is like way off from all the other South Poles.
Okay, that's got to be the right South Pole, wouldn't it be? The thing that like the world bases its South Pole origins off of, your magnetic. Isn't that the right one?
One of the geographical ones literally at the axe, like the axis, like top of the axis, you know?
The axis of the Earth. Draw a line through the center.
Because there's multiple axes of the Earth, you know?
How could there be multiple axes of the Earth?
Horizontal
Doesn't it
axis,
spin one way?
Like vertical axis.
What are you talking about?
When you open up a graph and you see X and Y axes,
Yeah.
there's 2 of them. You say axes.
Yeah, well, we're spinning on one, top and bottom. Wong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even makes that noise while it spins. Wong.
You go out in the space, if there was sound, and
Yeah, you can hear it. That's right. That's why God had to make space empty, because all the planets spinning
way
would be
too
making
loud out
noise.
there.
Yeah, it'd be loud. Space would be loud, man. With Earth spinning, Saturn spinning. I mean, he's like, okay, I'm taking all the air out of space now. It's going to be dead out here. God damn, those are loud.
It used to carry like on water. Like space used to be like water. It would carry
Yeah, just there was all this air up there. He's like, okay, remove all the air. This is
He's
just
like, "Get this
this
out
is
of here."
noisy.
Uh,
Even Pluto, way out there, you can still hear it if you listen quiet. On a quiet night, you could hear Pluto spinning. Where? On its axis.
Hear Jupiter.
Yeah, that was a deep whoop, 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 deep noise. Yeah, that's where we get our scary sci-fi noises from. Is from planets spinning on their axis in space.
Yeah.
You see the things you guys learn here on the World Show. It's information you would have never known. And now it's passed along to you guys free of charge. You're welcome, America and Denmark.
I saw a TikTok. I hope it was a skit, but I don't know if it was, of this guy who roughly like 26 years old. He said, I want to be I hope my kid will be the first person to land on Jupiter. I was like,
Land on Jupiter. Well, you know what?
it's a
Far
gas
out, man.
giant. It's gas giants.
I heard, what was it? There's somebody in here is trying to see. somebody verified the information we were passing along.
Which one?
Top knots rule. So general, comma. I heard it make that sound.
Oh, okay. He also said it has a pyramid on it.
What does?
I'm assuming he's talking about Antarctica.
Yeah, it's a bunch of rocks shaped like a pyramid. Big deal.
Yeah.
Maybe that should go on the flag. They should have put that Antarctic flag.
That's what it is.
No, the original one, and then just put a pyramid in there. In fact, you know what? That should have been the Antarctic flag. Should have been that first one. Blue background, the white Antarctic, and every conspiracy theory should be on there. There should be a big hole with a city in it. There should be tall people, blonde people. There should be pyramids there with aliens. A big wall around the border. Every conspiracy should have been part of that. You know what? We should make an Antarctic flag with every conspiracy on there and send it to those guys and go, here, use this. The Gen X Talks, we made you a flag. Go ahead, plant it. Pong. Plant it on the geopolitical center of
political.
Well, whatever you said.
There's
a fifth South Pole.
The geopolitical.
The political South Pole.
The proverbial South Pole.
The editorial South Pole. Now we got 9. Oh, for Christ's sake.
My personal South Pole.
Yeah, it's different than my personal South Pole. Now we got 11.
I believe that it's 1 foot to the right.
Yeah, well.
Or 1 foot to the north.
Well, they're all to the north.
It's just a ring.
It's just every step you take is to the north. When if you're standing on the South Pole and you die and you fall over, you're falling north no matter which way you go. And that's important to remember.
That's what I'm saying. It's really like annoying to give directions on Antarctica. Head north. Which one? Like, where do you want me to go?
Well, especially since you said there's 4 North Poles. Now you're like, well, I don't know where I'm going to end up here. Can we be specific here? I don't want to get lost along the way. All right, listen, you guys, we got to go. It's time to get out of here. I just wanted to make it lighthearted. I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of pleasant, fun banter. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't count. None of it's real. It's all made up and the points don't matter. But it's a good, sometimes for 30 minutes to forget everything is a good thing. So, this was the kids' idea. It was a brilliant idea. It was a lot of fun, just to joke and banter. And it has to do with the world. Is everyone, as we've learned today, everyone owns Antarctica equally because no one owns Antarctica. Oh, yeah. Hold on. We're not done yet. Yes?
On Antarctica, there's like, you see, pull up the wedge picture. Pull up the wedge
No,
picture.
we're leaving.
Pull up the wedge picture. Pull it up.
Oh, my God. What a fuck. Please. Pissing me off. There's your wedge picture. What?
Okay. You see that part that's not claimed by anybody?
That's not what?
Not claimed at all? No wedge?
Oh, you said the wedge picture, not the flag. All right, hold on. In the very tip?
On the bottom left. There's a big gap where no one owns anything.
No, there isn't. Everything is owned by someone all the way around. There's colors. On the very bottom, it's owned by New Zealand.
No.
Yes, it is.
The wedge.
I've got the original one, the one I told you was fuzzy. It's got a color for everything.
No. There's a spot. See, okay, in between Chile and New Zealand, bottom left. In between those 2 wedges, there's nothing there.
It's Chile.
No, it's not. Chile ends.
Norway's right there.
No, Norway's the other way.
Oh, you mean over here with red and yellow, in between the red and yellow area. Yeah. All right, hold on. All right, now I see what you're saying. In between Chile, I'm getting everywhere everybody can see. In between Chile and, well, it's Argentina.
It's Chile and New Zealand.
No, Chile and New Zealand are, Martin Birdland.
What?
It's called Marie Birdland. There's a big chunk I thought that was a...
Yeah, you see there's a big chunk no one owns.
Oh, yeah, Marie Birdland. Why is it called Marie? I know Bird was the explorer who did all that.
That is the biggest territory that isn't claimed, biggest landmass that isn't claimed by anybody. So I think we should go change that and go claim it.
Yeah, we totally should. It won't
matter. We just got to sign the treaty.
Right, we got to sign the treaty and then we're in. Yeah. So you're right. Marie Birdland is between Chile and New Zealand, and it is unclaimed territory. Huh.
We should go claim that.
All right. Well, you see, the stuff you learn here on this program is invaluable. We give it to you for free. You don't even got to pay for it. But listen, we do got to go. We hope that you've enjoyed a light-hearted time here. We did some stuff in the beginning where about Israel and the terrible things that are going on there. But we did come around with this stuff. If you guys needed a good laugh for it, we hope you stuck it out. It was a lot of fun. It was entertaining, and it did have to do with the world because the world owns or doesn't own Antarctica, depending on what you believe. But I'm going to say goodbye. Kid, say goodbye.
Oh, bye. I thought that was our
No, you're still on set. Tell everyone goodbye.
Bye.
There you go. All right. I got to get out of here. I got stuff I got to do today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out wherever you are around this planet. Remember, I'll catch you guys on the flip side.